It was a tie just seconds ago, but now, yes, if Nico plays, has moved into the lead in front of, not after Georgia lost. Those were tied at 38% just a couple of seconds ago, right before we came back. Yes, UT is better is next, and then last, no, Georgia is better. Click it, play it. Tell us what you think. I want to see those things keep moving. So which is it? You think they'll win if Nico plays, or you think they'll lose because Georgia lost last week? All right. Let's ask these guys what's happened to the run defense. And we have a graphic here. Tennessee, and this is just about against Power 5 foes. I took out the crap, Chattanooga and Kent State nonsense. But there you got 1.4 yards is all they allowed per carry against NC State, 1.1 against Oklahoma, 3 against Arkansas, 3 against Florida, down to 2 against Alabama. And then the last 2 weeks against 2 of the bottom teams in the league, you're giving up 4.5 yards per carry. Will Overstreet, is this a product of Keenan Peely being out? I'm sure part of it is, but is it that, or is it something larger?
So there's a couple things. I think Peely is being missed by this team, but I also have seen what Kentucky and Mississippi State are doing with that new group of linebackers in, which is you'll notice in the Kentucky game, they made them change the assignment of the strength call several times by motioning whole sets of guys over to the other side of the ball. You would notice our team getting a little bit out of balance a couple of times. And then you're also seeing a lot more guard pulling motions, jet sweep kind of motions. All of that is to attract the linebackers' eyes and get them going, flowing one direction, and they're coming back the opposite direction. And we're not fitting very well at times, especially in that inside A gap area, which is where you see a lot of the success that Kentucky and Mississippi State have had, is they've really been attacking kind of that in between the guards and the center area is where they've hit a couple of big plays. And it's really not started directly downhill a lot of times and gone that place. It's been, how do we kind of look like an RPO, and then we're coming back this way.
Little eye candy first.
How do I pull a guard? And, you know, the other day, Arian Carter was looking for a screen out here. They sent a guy out there, got him going, ran it right back up in the inside. So that's what they're really attacking right now, is saying, I've got a fast-flowing linebackers that want to get to the ball, so we're going to give them something to go get, and then we're going to come back to the inside. So you got that. The defensive tackles, you've seen them get beat a little bit too, though. Mississippi State's guard and center had a couple of really good blocks where it didn't seem like we were getting off. I don't know if that's just late in the season or if those are just bad plays and you didn't have the linebacker to cover it up. But you see that group attacking us very differently in some ways now that we don't have Peely on the field to kind of general through that. They're using that, our aggression against us.
Yeah. Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, my question, and I don't remember because I've been around a microwave too many times in the last couple of weeks, but Will, I mean, you know, I think the last 2 games against Kentucky and Mississippi State, we saw 2 safeties, like deep safeties. So that creates a bit of a bubble. And again, you know, I don't know if it's linebackers adjusting or what have you, but you got the 2 safeties, then you got 5 in the box. And if I'm Tennessee's rules, and same situation against Mississippi State, 5 in the box, you run the ball. And so there's where the gaps were and the kind of gashes that got them. So I don't know if they're adjusting well or they're just trying to say, hey, you know what, we're going to bend but don't break with 2 deep safeties, not let any big play happen, and just think that we can handle it. They're going to have to change it up against Georgia because I think Georgia's going to come out and say, we're going to try and run the ball, especially after last week, and I don't know how they're going to adjust.
Josh, let's end it with there. How concerned are you with Georgia being able to pick some of this stuff up and use it when Georgia has not been able to run the ball this year? They had, I think, 59 carries, 59 runs on 59 yards on 33 carries against Ole Miss, 1.8 yards a carry or something. They're bottom of the league or near the bottom of the league in terms of rush yards all year. Does it concern you that Georgia may learn a little something from this? Because it's not like Mississippi State and Kentucky are loaded with talent.
Right, and Georgia could not protect Beck in the passing game. They're going to come in and say, how can we run the football like Mississippi State and Kentucky have the last couple of weeks? I looked at those numbers that you shared at the start of the segment, and I thought, okay, well, Florida and Alabama, they didn't have great success right after Keenan Peely went out. Mississippi State, Jeff Lebby as an offensive coach was probably able to see, just like Kentucky was able to see, what did they do or what was Tennessee doing defensively that we can attack. Georgia's offensive staff is going to look at the last couple of games. How did Mississippi State and Kentucky run against Tennessee? What can we do? They have some talent in the backfield. If they can find a way to block for those guys can spring runs like we've seen the last 2 weeks. Tennessee on the flip side, we'll try to figure out what have they been doing. How can we fix this ahead of the Georgia game?
Okay, very good. We got to catch a break. I want to get into the playoff race. We want to get into a preview of Georgia. We got a lot more to come. Next, though, let's dig into the playoff resumes. Who won, who lost yesterday. Somebody's already got a projection for what the final bracket will be that changed with what happened yesterday. We'll show you what it meant for Tennessee's projection. Come on back.